How's everyone doing today? Today we're looking at a 24-hour ration pack, menu number 14. And we know that because right here we have a menu 14, the 24P, and then we have a month 7 and the year 12. So I believe this is a 2012. I'm really not sure. We're going to get into it and check it out. Little picture of the box here. We have a range card. We have a 24-hour ration pack from the Ministry of Defense. We have nutritional information posted on the box. You could pause that and read it if you'd like. We have a statement by the Ministry of Defense. And of course, we have the Union Jack and the 24-hour ration pack. So let's get into it. And these are pretty amazing meals. They are packed with items. So before we get into it, let's just talk about the ration pack. This menu, number 14, is the smallest menu out of the lineup. This one, I believe, contains 11 meal items, biscuits and whatnot. Actually 10, not counting Tabasco. So number 14 is the smallest, containing 10 meal items. The largest is number 15, which contains 17 meal components, and I'm not counting the drinks, which are usually 5. The 24-hour boxed version of the OPR, Operational Ration Pack, otherwise known as a Rat Pack, they usually contain 3,800 to 4,200 kcals, and they typically have 3 main meals: a breakfast, lunch, and dinner, dessert, which are sweet items, usually cake, cookies, puddings. Then we have snacks, which are usually biscuits, bars, peanut or fruit mixes. And then the beverage items usually contain flavored drinks, energy drinks, hot chocolate, teas, and instant coffees. And then they usually also come with what they call sun-drieds, which are sugar, creamers, gum, matches, wipes, tissues, purification tablets, and utensil kits. They do have variants of the OPRs. There isn't just one for a single menu. Different variants are issued to meet dietary or environmental needs, as general purpose, which is the standard ration pack, which what we have here. They have vegetarian, vegan, which are always plant-based menus, religious, which is halal, Shiki, Hindu, or kosher, and then cold, hot climate, which are tailored to environmental conditions. Then they also have a multi-climate boxes, which are meant for mixed operating climate. So menu 14 contents are as listed. Now, I got this off the shipper that gave me a menu listing, so let's see if it lines up with what we have in the box. The breakfast is supposed to be a natural muesli. The main meal, which is supposed to be beef stroganoff, tuna pasta beans, which is served cold, plain rice, apple turnover with a green Tabasco. The snacks are supposed to be fruit puree, mango, banana, apple, golden oat biscuits, golden oat bar, fruit and nut mix, and 2 peanut butters. And the drinks are supposed to be as followed: an isotonic tablet orange, an apple drink, a blackberry currant, and a raspberry drink, followed up by a hot chocolate orange. The non-discretionary items are supposed to be a resealable poly bag, 4 beverage whiteners, 2 instant coffees, 2 teas, 4 sugars, matches, 2 wet wipes, tissues, 6 water purification tablets, gum, and a spoon. Let's see if it actually lines up with what's in the menu listing. So we have our resealable poly bag and our beverages. We'll get into that shortly. We have our tissues, which I believe are 10 pieces. Yep, these are great. We have our apple beverage powder. We have a black currant, so they're lining up. We have our fruit puree. And I believe the yellow cap means that it is apple, mango, lining up. I think we got a winner here. We have one peanut butter. Actually, here's our hot chocolate, orange, and here's our raspberry. We have our fruit nut mix. We have our golden oats snack bar. 2 peanut butters, and they are both 1.12 ounces, 31.7 grams. That's nice to see that they actually give you a little more. Here's our cooked rice. So yeah, this is actually, 2012. We have a Bridgeford apple turnover, shelf stable, 100 grams. That's actually nice that they put the whole day code on there. We have an Orifo tuna and bean pasta, 300 grams. And look at that ingredient list. Look at that. Sunflower seed oil, tuna, pasta, wheat egg white, green peas, soybeans, red kidney beans, sugar, water, flour, vinegar, salt, citric acid, herb, spice, fish, soybean, white wheat, and egg white. That's amazing. Such a small menu list, made in Thailand. Beef Stroganoff. And even that menu listing, look at that, 300 grams. We have our biscuits, 50-gram package. This is the vitamin mineral tablet. This is the orange drink. This is also like an isotonic. Our green Tabasco, and it looks fantastic. And then we have our natural muesli with milk, 100 grams. At the very bottom of the menu, we have our informational card and our, this is the menu listing, and on the back they have a survey. I'm going to put this right over here. This is a lot of food to get through. All right, so let's go through our drinks. We open our poly bag, which is also going to be used for storing our components that we have not consumed. We're going to place that right in the bag. And right off the back, look at this. Now, I have not seen one of these, but I heard that this is one of the best spoons to get before they changed it to the big face shovel spork. So this is fantastic. I'll be saving this. You got the white classic spoon. We have 2 Nescafe coffees. We have 2 sticks of sugar. We have 2 Typhoon teas. We have 1, 2, and 3 V8 gums. Each one has only 1 piece in there. We have our 6 water purification tablets. We have 3 creamers, actually 4 creamers. 4 creamers and another 2 sticks of sugar, and then 2 alcohol-free antibacterial hand wipes. Wow, I don't even know where to put half this stuff. That is quite the spread. Look at that. And not to forget our 5 windproof all-weather matches. Now, interesting thing about the British ration packs is they do not use flameless ration heaters. They have either means to set up a Espas stove, like we used before in another one of your videos, with the hexamine fuel tablets, or they use the jet boil stoves to warm up water. All of the mains are meant to be either eaten cold or warmed up in a pan with water to bring them up to temperature, conditions permitting. So let's set up breakfast. We'll trade this up and then we'll dive into this. Stand by. All right, we're back. And we got everything trayed up and it's looking like a pretty proper breakfast. We're going to have our fruit puree, our golden oat biscuits, 50 grams. We're going to have them with the peanut butter, our fruit muesli with milk, a tea with 2 sugars and 1 creamer. All right, so, and I'm going to heat up the water with an Esbit stove. Also, our vitamin tablet, which is also an orange flavored drink. This is Maxi Fuel Energy System Viper Active Mineral and Vitamin Effervescent Tablet. And it does have a load of vitamins in the back. All right, so we're going to start off with that. And we'll drop that tablet. See how it looks? Yep, and it smells pretty vitamin-y. Look at that thing go. That is really getting everything going. All right, so we got to get our water on. I'm not going to use the matches. There we go. Put our water on our Esbit stove. We got a little bowl for our muesli. Let's see what our biscuits look like. And they smell really good. A little broken up. Let's give one a try. Nice flavor. Look at the peanut butter. It actually has a little spout right into it, so you can actually spread it on your biscuits properly. Now the fruit muesli, I'm going to use warm water. You could use cold if you like. I know some people are very opinionated on what your muesli is supposed to take, but I'm doing warm. Just because I like a warm meal in the morning. Let's get our tea ready. This is Typhoon tea. We're going to add our creamer and sugar at the end. So we'll get that prepped right now. And let's get some peanut butter on these biscuits and start trying them out. Really good. Let's see if this actually cooperates. Yeah, looks like it's going to. Peanut butter is very thick. All right, and let's give it a try. Let's make a little peanut butter sandwich. All right, let's see what this fruit puree looks like. This often resembles baby food. Yep. And it's just like applesauce. Actually, 39% apple, 25% mango, water, banana, citric acid. Good way to get your fiber. That is really good. It's not too acidic, very smooth, has the consistency of baby food. Have another biscuit. Let's open up this other packet of peanut butter and add it to our biscuits and finish this packet up. That spout is a little tough to get through. You could tell the peanut butter in the middle is a little more thicker, and it actually is not very easy to squeeze through. But we're getting through it. And that peanut butter is very sticky. Let's give that peanut butter a taste on its own. It's definitely different than the US MRE peanut butter. It's not as sweet. It's a little bit touch gritty, but in a good way. I wouldn't say it's gritty, but you can actually taste little bits of chunks. And it's very thick. I'm trying to get that last bit off, and it's almost impossible. Take one of our tissues out here. Ten sheets in a bag. Pretty nice. They kind of do look double ply quilted. Wipe that spoon off. Wipe off our blade. All right, let's finish up these biscuits. Looks like our Espit stove already went out. That was pretty disappointing. Water's not boiling, but let me get another tablet on there. Stand by. All right, we're back. Grab another tablet. I'll drop that right there. Give that a light. And throw this back on there. All right, let's finish up our fruit puree. Our biscuits with peanut butter. This isotonic effervescence tablet does have a lot of sediment on the bottom. So like the third time I'm mixing it. And every time I mix it, it seems like it does dissolve it even a little more. But there's always something left over. All right, let's give that a try. Isotonic effervescence orange vitamin drink. That's actually quite refreshing. Very, very light orange flavor. Very light. You get hit with the effervescence kind of tingle, even though it's not fizzing right now. And it's kind of pleasant. It's not as minerally as a regular isotonic where you're kind of hit with that salt. But I like that. That you can carry a couple tablets in your pocket, drop them in a canteen cup, down that, you get your vitamins for the day. That's interesting. I think we got something going here with the water I see boiling. Let's get our muesli in a bowl. Excuse me. Ingredients: rolled oats, skimmed milk, pumpkin seeds, skimmed milk powder, pumpkin seeds, brown sugar, rye flakes, and whey protein. And look at that, you can actually see the pumpkin seeds in there. We're going to put it all right now in here. Let's finish up this drink. That's really interesting. I like that. I don't understand, and I'm going to keep ranting on it, why the U.S. is not doing things like this. I looked up the logistic data on the size of England versus the U.S. military size. And granted, the U.S. military is 10 times larger than the British military, and their budget is even ridiculously larger for the U.S. So I get it. We got 10 times more troops to feed. We have a lot more active military members. But this is the type of food we should be feeding our troops. This is convenient, sucking it right out of a pouch like this. And I'm really surprised that this is still good, considering this is 2005. Best before 2015. So it just shows you that this type of food does not have an extremely short shelf life if stored properly. All right, I'm going to finish this off. Finish these biscuits. Wait for this water to come to a rolling boil, and we'll be right back. All right, we're back. Water has just finished simmering. The Espit stove fuel tablet is no more. And let's make our tea. Looks like we need a little bit more water. All right, this is looking very good. Looks like we still might need a little more water. All right, this is looking really good now. Very thick. All right. And how thick it has gotten, I would probably even say just a little bit more water. Just to make it a little more creamier and wet, because right now it's almost like porridge, how thick it is. And that actually is looking really good. And I tell you, this spoon is holding up nicely. All right. Give that a moment to settle. And the pumpkin seeds are a nice addition. I like that. Let's get our tea going over here. Put 1 tube of sugar. Put the other tube of sugar. This isn't that sweet. This actually could use a tube of sugar. But we're going to try it out as it is. Let our tea steep for a moment. Tea's looking really good. And let's put one of the whiteners in it. Clean off our spoon. Give that a little mix. And that's looking really good. All right, let's give this a try. This is quite thick. And looks really good. The pumpkin seeds really bring a nice taste to it. The Typhoon tea is a classic black tea. And it says let steep for 3 to 5 minutes. So that's what we're going to do. The taste of the muesli is very subtle. You get an overwhelming taste of grain and oats. The milk powder adds a nice creaminess to it, but there's literally zero sugar in this. It's not sweet whatsoever. Actually, it's a little bit on the bitter side when you add the pumpkin seeds into it. That's not sweetened either. And it doesn't taste like they're toasted either because they're very firm. They're not crunchy, but you can tell it's more of a natural pumpkin seeds because there is a little give to the pumpkin seeds when you chew them. They don't crackle like they're toasted. That's really nice, especially in the morning. That'll give you a boost. All your vitamins, some energy. I would definitely recommend putting sugar in this just to sweeten it up a bit. I looked up the ingredients on the fruit muesli. There is brown sugar in it, and you do get a little hint of that brown sugar, but the bitter taste is coming from the rye flakes. The rye flakes are giving this a little bit of a bitter taste. Let's give our tea a try. And the tea is a very high quality tea. Goes very nice with the creamer and 2 sugars. Very good tea. All right, let's finish up this muesli. We got 2 more bites here. All right, let's wash it down with some English black tea. And that tea is very hot. Okay, well, this has been breakfast of our British Operational Pack, otherwise known as a rat pack. I'm going to finish this tea and the isotonic tablet drink, and then we'll be back for lunch. Stand by. All right, we're back for lunch. Lunch is going to be coffee with 2 sugars, the fruit and nut mix, 3, raspberry beverage powder, blackcurrant beverage powder, tuna bean pasta, 300 grams. And we're going to use our antibacterial wipes, our V6 dental gum with fluoride, and our green Tabasco. So let's start off by making our coffee. I already took the liberty of adding hot water. So we're going to put our sugar in. We're not going to use the Espit stove for this because we have minimal amount of components that need to be warmed up. Okay, and there's 0 whitener in that coffee, which is fine with me. We'll have it black. Okay. Open up our imperial nuts. Got a nice mixture of, looks like cranberries. Yep. Almonds, cashews, raisins, and that's it. Let's open up our 300-gram main of tuna and bean pasta salad. Okay, that looks pretty good. Wow, that's a decent serving. And black currant. And raspberry. The British do love their drinks, and as they should. The drinks take up the least amount of space, and I think they bring the most comfort. Hydrating is important, and sometimes drinking chemically treated water is not very appealing. Both of these glasses are about 375 milliliters, and that's what we filled them to. Get another tissue going here. They look like they use real sugar because there is a lot of sediment on the bottom. And they do smell very tart. And sweet, if they can be both at the same time. Maybe I'm picking up a whiff from both. Ooh, that is very appetizing. Let's try. That raspberry is absolutely freaking ridiculous. Black currant. Wow. Those are two top-notch drinks right there. You could probably stretch it even more and still have decent flavor. The nuts are pretty good. They're not very stale. This tuna, considering this meal is out of age for at least 10 years, let's give a little bite here, see how it comes out. It's good. It is. Let's see what the beans look like. I don't know what kind of bean that is. It's green. It looks like a chickpea. I think it might be a chickpea, but it has the consistency of a pea. That's definitely a regular white bean. And of course we have our large red beans. Try a little piece of pasta here by itself. That's good. The pasta is firm. It's not mushy. The beans are also very firm. They're not mushy at all. And we have like an oil. This is oil-based instead of fat-based. Let's throw some green Tabasco on this. First time I'm having green Tabasco in an MRE. I'm going to use, well, I can't really see the bottle. I was going to say we're going to use half of this, but this is the chili flavored with a little heat. You know what? We're just going to go all out on this guy here. Yep, and that's the whole bottle right there. All right, let's give that a nice try. That is fantastic with the chili. I know you're supposed to eat this cold, but I threw it in some simmering water for about 5 minutes, and then I took it out, placed it on a dish towel, and let it come to room temperature. So this technically isn't hot. It's room temperature, and I'm glad I did, because all this oil would have been a solidified mess. The tuna has a nice sweet taste to it. Goes very nice with the beans and the chili. This is really interesting, something different, and I tell you the truth, I really like it. Have some coffee. That's a good coffee. Very low acidity. Very smooth. That is really good. I'm impressed. For the amount of water I used, it's got still a good bold taste. I probably could have gotten away with just one sugar, but that is fantastic. That at all doesn't taste like the Taster's Choice we get here in America. Let's try some of these nuts. We got cashews, very light roasted. They're still kind of soft, like almost being raw, but they got a good flavor to them. And considering the age of this meal, they're not stale. The almonds are also soft. The cranberries look like they've seen better days. They look like they're starting to show some of their age. Raisins are nice and big and plump. They're starting to crystallize a little bit with the sugar. But they're very good. Look at these cranberries. They're looking like they're almost about to turn. That's raisins. Yeah, right here. Look at these cranberries. They're actually looking like they're starting to turn. But let's give them a try. That's a raisin. Yep. No unpleasant taste. They're not showing any staleness, but you could see they're starting to show their age a little bit. They're not as fresh as can be. But I'm not picking up anything weird from them either. Try some of our raspberry drink. That is possibly the best raspberry drink I ever tasted. That is fantastic. This green Tabasco doesn't really have that much heat to it, but it has so much chili flavor that goes so well with this. That is perfect pairing right there. This is, I'm telling you, the British, they know how to feed their troops and they know how to give them quality drinks. This is already a thumbs up. This is a lot of food, but this is perfect. The beans and the different type of beans, the 3 different beans, the pasta and the tuna, they really do pair up nicely. All right, let's finish this up. This is really good. I'm digging this. A little more oil that I'd like to see, but I don't know. What are you going to do, right? And this coffee, this is really hitting the spot. All right, so that was so light, so filling, and so refreshing. That wasn't that bad, considering the age. Let's see what the gum looks like. Sweet menthol. Let's give that a try. Okay, so final thoughts. The drinks, freaking ridiculous. 10 out of 10. The nuts, but considering this meal is almost 10 years out of inspection date, so not bad, decent. Green Tabasco sauce, unbelievable. Tuna, 3-bean pasta, that was awesome. And this paired with it so well. Coffee, perfect. The gum, you can definitely taste the crud coming out of your teeth from that gum. It has a good quality gum base, nice and soft. It doesn't get hard as you chew on it for a while, and good flavor. But I wish they would have got 2 pieces. It's a tiny piece of gum. Yeah, very tiny. Almost kind of gets lost in your mouth. That's how small it is. Now, on the other hand, this antibacterial alcohol-free wipe, which means that you could probably use it anywhere on your body. This thing is serious. Nice, large-sized towel. It's a decent cloth. The more you stretch it, the kind of larger it gets. I'm not catching any type of fragrant smell on it. And it's not stinging or cooling my hands excessively. This is nice. All right. Well, let me know what you thought about this lunch. We're going to wait a couple hours and we're going to get to dinner. And honestly, we're probably going to get to another meal after dinner because this meal is packed with food. So we're probably going to do a dinner and then we're going to do a late night snack because we still got biscuits, hot cocoa, 2 more beverages, a tea, and I can't consume 3 beverages per meal. It's a lot of liquid. And normally the troops would be spacing these drinks out during the day, so I'm not saying that they would drink 3 or 4 drinks per meal, but filming, it's a lot of drinks to get through. I'm going to drink these throughout the night. I'm going to finish the coffee, have the nuts, and we'll be back. Stay tuned. All right, and we're back for dinner. Dinner's going to be light because I didn't see the point of trying to stuff the apple turnover, another drink, a cereal bar. These are pretty hefty mains, and I can't eat all that in one sitting. So we're gonna do dinner, and then we're gonna do a late night snack. So another interesting thing, I actually never have tried out these water purification tablets out. So what I did was I got a liter of water and I dropped 1 tablet in it, let it dissolve for 15-20 minutes, and let's see how it tastes. I actually don't taste anything. That's pretty interesting. So I know that we usually discard these water purification tablets. So yeah, let's give that a try. So we're going to first start off by warming up our water for our coffee the Espit way. We're going to put a little water in there. And while we're setting up our main, We should get some water going here. There we go. All right, so I threw the mains in some simmering water for about 10 minutes. We're going to have a 160 gram main of cooked rice. It says you could either have it hot or cold, but stir well before serving. So we stirred it well. And these are good bags. Look at this. It's got a nice gusset on it. So while you're eating it, you could just eat this out of the pouch. And our beef stroganoff, which is 300 grams. Those are pretty cool. All right, so the water's going. I ended up drinking, those other two drinks were the raspberry, and I believe one was raspberry and the other was, I believe, blackberry or black currant. Those freaking drinks were ridiculous. And this glass is about 375 mils. So we'll fill that right to the edge. Give that a nice little stir. I can't wait to try this apple. The British really don't skimp out on their drinks. And I hope we actually go the same route. There's nothing wrong with throwing variety of drinks in our MREs. We used to have the iced tea, sweetened iced tea. We had the hot apple cider. Now we're lucky if we can get a lemon lime or a fruit punch. I don't know. I hope U.S. MREs takes a turn for the better soon. And that is tasty. Our water seems to be coming up to temperature, so we're going to get our coffee ready. This coffee we're going to have non-sweetened. We're just going to have coffee and a creamer. And these are really good. I don't know if it's a different formula from what we have, you know, like the British, well, we don't have Nescafe. The British IMPs have Nescafe, but they're sweet and creamy. So they already come with sugar. This is fantastic black coffee. It really is. I'm going to put one creamer in there. We're going to save the other creamer for our tea. Give that a final mix. All right, let's see what this looks like. Nice. It's just basically white rice. That actually looks fantastic. I don't know if we should mix it with the beef stroganoff, but let's see what this looks like. Oh yeah, definitely. That should have gotten mixed in. That's almost like liquid. So we're going to just spoon this all over here. We'll keep a little extra here for the overflow because I think this will overflow the plate. All right, look at that. That's pretty much just liquid. Yep. Some nice mushrooms. Wow, that is a lot of food. The smell that's coming off this is absolutely savory. It really is. I want to eat this right now. Let's give it a try. Wow. Creamy. It has an overwhelming, kind of almost like a cheddar, a sharp cheddar taste. That beef looks fantastic. This goes awesome with the rice. I'm glad I didn't use the rice for something else. Otherwise, we'd have been eating beef stroganoff soup. That goes amazing with the rice. And I'm betting that's the whole point of it, because that wasn't even creamy. That was like water. So let's try some with the rice and some meat. Compared to how much liquid is on there, we're gonna have to spoon some of this liquid onto the other rice because it's not gonna happen. It's like soup. All right, look at that huge mushroom. That's absolutely insane that they could put this kind of food in a retort pouch. Look at that. That is a legit whole mushroom. And it looks fantastic. It's a button mushroom. And it's nice and firm. It's not mushy. Considering this meal is almost 8 years out of date from inspection, I'm surprised. This is amazing. This really is. I don't understand why we can't do this. The British are doing it, feeding their troops properly. I wish I would have had some green Tabasco left over, but I used it all up on the tuna with beans, salad. Look at the beef. It's not even processed. It looks like someone cooked a steak and then chopped it up. That's a whole piece of meat right there, and that's not processed or formed. I don't care about logistics. I don't care about cost. We should be feeding our troops better. Everyone else is doing it except us. And our troops rely on us. Why can't they have a decent meal like this? This is just sad. Another mushroom with some meat and white rice. I thought this was going to be overwhelming, being a 300-gram main, but this is perfect. I mean, I'm sure if I was a soldier in the field, come dinner time, I'm starving, I could easily have thrown the apple turnover in there, the hot chocolate, the tea, the cereal bar, but I'm already starting to get full. We're just halfway through this, and I'm already starting to sweat. All right, let's try this apple drink. We got a little setup in it on top. The stuff on top actually tastes like cinnamon. So we got almost apples with cinnamon. That's crazy. And the flavor, I gotta try that again. I'm not getting any off taste from the chemically treated water. That's amazing, that apple juice. Apple drink, I'm sorry. Apple drink, not apple juice. All right, and our Esprit stove is officially out. Our water is almost on the verge of boiling. Let's make some coffee. I used about 6 ounces. We're going to keep it light. It looks like it's perfect. All right, I'm starting to hit the wall here. I'm starting to get really full. Let's push through this. The rice is very plain. It's almost like white rice that was steamed with a touch of butter. The cheese sauce has a sharper cheddar cheese kind of profile. The beef just seems like braised beef thrown in with this. The cheese sauce is actually thickening as it's cooling down. I'm not sure if beef stroganoff in the American version is supposed to be kind of sharp like the British version is, but I kind of like it. It has almost like a sharp cheddar taste to it, and it goes very well with the beef and the rice. Mushroom, rice, beef stroganoff, and some gravy. All right, apple drink. I don't know if you can see that. Can you see that on camera? It's like a very, very fine dusting of something brown and dark. It almost looks like cinnamon, and I bet you it is. That's freaking ridiculous. That almost have the same profile of a older brown bag apple cider, the hot apple cider drink in the white pack. That's ridiculous. Bravo to the British. You guys don't spare anything for your troops. The meal was absolutely ridiculous. The drinks are unbelievable quality, and the quantity that you give them, it's insane. Each meal, each course has 2 to 3 drinks. That's insane. All right, let's try our coffee here. We got a nice little cream ring on the edge there. Yeah, quality coffee. I wouldn't expect anything else in a British ration. I'm full. I'm not going to lie, I'm full. This thing is so filling. I'm going to finish it later. Let's look at our spearmint flavored V6 dental white sugar-free gum. Whoa, hey now. We don't want to get that in there. Oh, and there's actually 2 pieces in there. I think the last one I opened only had 1. I was kind of complaining about how small it was. So no surprise, even the gum is ridiculous quality. I'm blown away here. 2 pieces, quality gum base, not too firm. As soon as you get it chewing, it really softens up, but it doesn't disintegrate. Holds together very well. Cleans the crud out of your teeth. The spearmint flavor is long lasting. And it's a nice candy shell that isn't too thin, it isn't too thick. So, I'm going to finish this up throughout the night. Let's see what our alcohol, non-alcoholic, antibacterial wipe looks like. Even the wipes are awesome. Look at this. You could use this on your body. You took all 3 of those wipes, and you could pretty much have an improvised field shower. All right, we're done here. Coffee's amazing. Gum was great. The rice was good. The beef stroganoff was good. The apple drink was great. We used the chemically treated tablets. No aftertaste, no weird chlorine or iodine flavor, which I'm surprised. This is the first time I'm actually trying aqua tabs. So, I don't know. Continues to impress. We'll be back with the late night snack shortly. Stand by. All right, we're back for our final late night snack. This was too much food to all pack into dinner, so I left it as a late night snack. We're going to have our hot chocolate flavored drink, orange type. This goes in to 500 mils of water, and our tea with creamer, our golden oat snack bar 50 grams, and our Bridgeford apple turnover, shelf stable. So let's open this up. And like I said before, if you're not warming up your bread components, you're missing out on really bringing the flavor of these items. I warmed this up in some simmering water, and boy, that smells amazing. Kind of reminds me of the US MRE. Cinnamon bun is what this reminds me of. Great flavor when it's warmed up. Also kind of warmed up the cereal bar a little bit. And look at it, nice and soft. That looks great. Now, since we're warming up our water, I didn't want to use the Espit stove because this is quite a large amount of water to warm up. So we got the kettle. And they do give you a good amount of this powder, so I didn't want to make the mistake of using a small cup. So we got a large mug. All right, we'll let this tea steep for a little bit before we add our cream. Let's mix this up, see how it comes out. And it's looking pretty good. Yeah, that tea is steeping really nice. I can see it's already nice and dark. We're going to add our creamer in right now. That dissolved nicely. Give that a little mix. All right, that's looking pretty good. Move these over to the side. And let's get into this apple turnover before it starts getting cold. Look at that steam from that apple turnover. And this is, look how soft this is. Break into this, look at that. That looks absolutely, wow. Chunks of apple. That's looking good. All right, let's give that a try. This is a perfect late night snack with a cup of tea, hot cocoa. This is absolutely divine. Look at that. This actually tastes like the US MRE cinnamon bun dough, but filled with apple. The filling goes all the way to the corners. Very tasty. Not too sweet, but you can taste there's brown sugar, some cinnamon. That is really good. Let's give our cocoa a try. Might be a little too hot. That goes perfect with that. I'm getting a nice little orange essence flavor from that hot chocolate. That is nice. That'll put me to sleep nicely. All right, let's look at this cereal bar. We got, looks like a mixture of oats. I'm smelling honey, brown sugar. This looks good. that is quite dense to eat. Packed with oats, honey, brown sugar. Let's wash that down with some black tea. The tea goes nicely with that. I can't get over this. This is simply divine. Look at that. The cocoa is a very high quality cocoa. Very, very good. Not too sweet. Very rich cocoa taste. Alright, well, to make this video a little shorter, I'm not going to eat all these items on camera. I just wanted to finish this meal up for you guys, show you what every component was. Let me know what you think about this British 24-hour ration pack. Thank you again for my subscribers. I hope you guys enjoy the content. Like, subscribe, and comment, and more will be coming. Thanks again. Bye-bye.